What's up, you guys? SlimXTeamSymmetry here to finally make you guys a video. I know. People have been like, Slim, where you been at? You haven't made a video in like 3 or 4 days. That's not like you. Your last video wasn't even of you. Where you been? I'm back in school, you guys. And I don't know, I don't really talk about, like school and whatnot, but I am in college and I am on the path to graduation. I've been trying to, finish out all my classes, all my major stuff. People don't know, I go to San Francisco State. I'm sure a lot of people know that. I've seen a lot of people down there that play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sure they've seen me, and, it's just, it's great being able to play cards there just like on my downtime. Is a good, kind of like stress reliever during exams and whatnot and stuff like that. But just like a little personal stuff, I'm trying to finish out, get my Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. I'm trying to get my education credential, and I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to get all this done in the next year and a half, give or take, depending on how easy or hard it is for me to get classes. I feel that that's the hardest thing, is getting classes. I don't want to waste the whole video telling you guys about that, but that is what I am up to, and that has become like my main priority because I've done a lot of traveling for the YCSs. I've done a lot of traveling for Worlds, Nationals, and everything, but now I kind of got to cool it a little bit, and I got to really focus on school, finish, graduate, and then start working so that then I can have like a steady income to go on these trips. So that's pretty much the plan. Like, don't worry, like I'm definitely going to be around more at events, so don't worry about that. I'm just saying that when you don't see me a couple days here on YouTube or you see guest uploads, it's because I am busy with school, but I just wanted to give you guys that little update. Anyways, I haven't talked to you guys since the ban list, since that crazy ban list, and at first glance, like I talked a ton about it on Facebook. I put a bunch of crazy statuses and stuff like that, and overall, the list, it scared people. It shocked people. It was like, did this really just happen? Did we really just lose this many cards? Did decks that we thought were going to be still playable in this format, are they no longer playable? Are decks that were not playable, are they more playable now? And the answer is yes to pretty much both questions. But I think a lot of people looked at the list the wrong way. They thought Konami was trying to just banhammer every deck. They didn't look at real in-depth to where they were going with the list. The list kind of has like a theme going, and it has kind of like nostalgia to what some of the old formats were like. I think the only thing that kind of threw me off, Heavy Storm being banned didn't shock me as much as the fact is we didn't get back Trunade, which a lot of people were happy we didn't. And in retrospect, I mean, I guess I understand why. Trunade was broken, though, and Cold Wave was broken, and neither of those cards came back. And we still do have 3 Typhoon, as well as other forms of back row removal in the form of, like, Dust Tornado and Malevolent Catastrophe and all these other great cards that I'm sure people are talking about and hyping right now. So a lot of things on that list shocked a lot of people, but I can see where they went with a lot of their options. A lot of people have lost to Heavy Storm, a lot of people have lost to Monster Reborn, a lot of people have lost to some of those cards, and they took away the cards to see, how would we pan out without those cards? How could we rely on, quote-unquote, some of the sackiest cards in the game? Skilled players will use the cards at the best time, and I mean, average players will use them whenever they feel like using them. And sometimes you have to make, like, weird plays with those cards. Like, sometimes you just have to heavy for 1 if it means you can win that turn. Sometimes you have to Monster Reborn one of your opponent's monsters versus your own because it sets up a better play. Like, it always depends on what the situation is at the current state. A lot of people commented in my ban list video that I forgot something. You're damn right, I forgot about the bunny. My poor bunnies now sit here entrapped in the binder for God knows how long because I can't play Rabbit, you guys. And I'm really sad because I had planned to play Rabbit, and unfortunately I cannot. So in the binder, the 3 Stooges will stay. So I have put down Rabbit. Had they left Rabbit at 2, I would have been fine. I still would have played the deck, but they banhammered Rabbit, so, can you imagine, actually, if you had Logia set 5 and there was no Heavy Storm, it was like, okay. So that's one thing, like, I'm kind of sad that they hurt that deck, but at the same time, I can see, what they did with some of the list. And I'm not going to make this a whole ban list analysis video. I kind of want to talk about what I feel is probably some of the best deck choices for this format and decks that I like. I know, like, every channel's been doing that. I haven't even really watched that many of people's videos. I've literally just been, like, school, like, this whole week, trying to figure things out, and I've barely been, like, on my computer and whatnot, as you guys have seen. Like, anything you've seen from Facebook or anything like that was via my phone, so I really haven't been spending that much time, keeping track of things. But just through personal testing, I've been testing about 3 different decks this week, and they've been Agents, Dark World, and what do you call it? And I haven't been testing the deck, but I've been watching Gadgets in action. I've been watching Fire Fist in action. I've been watching Insectors in action. All these decks in action that people play at school. It's just giving me like a real good idea of like how the format's going to be. And so far, like I've come up with like maybe 5 to 6 decks I would say are the best choice right now currently. YCS Toronto is tomorrow. and a lot of people are looking to that event as like the backbone of what this format will be, and that's kind of like it's kind of like a loaded dice in a sense, because while it is the first event of the format, there are other things that are coming out for this game that I think a lot of people are forgetting, and they can alter the way decks are going to be played and the amount of decks that are going to be played by people at these events. Like for YCS Toronto, everyone is saying Dragon Plants is the best deck, Infernities is the best deck, like you name it, everyone's saying it's the best deck. Black Wings are the fucking tits, like literally, that deck has everything now. You have 3 Duality, you have your 3 Whirlwind, you have 3 Icarus Attack, you have Delta Crow, I mean, what don't you have? Okay, you have 1 Gale, but you only need 1 Gale. You have Blizzard, you have literally everything. Like, everyone says that deck's going to win, and I played tested against one. The deck is good, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm actually trying to work on a build myself just because I played Black Wings back when Black Wings were the nuts, so I kind of want to try and play it again. I do like the fact there's 3 Whirlwind, not gonna lie, that's pretty dope, but I don't know if Black Wings is going to be the deck that takes it. I think there's, a lot of people think it is, but I think there's a lot more decks that can do it. I think Infernities are amazing, like straight up. I think Infernities are ridiculous. I've watched people's games with Infernities. I've watched Infernities in action. Transmodify Infernities is like, how is that even fair? Like turn 1 ending with like 3 barriers. Like, I mean, come on, that's like way too broken compared. Like, it's kind of like how Infernities used to be, is when they would end with like 3 barriers and like Doom Dragon, some other shit, and it's like, oh, like you pretty much lost. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what that deck does. But I mean, aside from like the decks people say are going to be like the best decks ever, I mean, let's face it, if I were to put the top 5, I'd have, and this is in no particular order, I would say Infernities, I'll throw Dragon Plants in there. I haven't really researched Dragon Plants enough. From what I've heard, they're amazing, and if you know how to play dragons, you know how to play them, the deck's really good. I see the synergy in the deck. I haven't played it yet, so I'll have to see how it does. I wouldn't count dragons out. I would throw in agents. Depends on what version of agents. It could be Transmodify agents, it could be Chaos agents, it could be regular agents, it could be Herald agents, it could be anything. I think agents just are really good. And believe it or not, having 3 Earth, it did something. I swear, like, it did something to that deck. Because I was playtesting agents, and just having that 3rd Earth, like, being able to open with Earth, I don't know what it was. Like, going Earth to Venus, it was just, like, it just made everything flow a lot nicer than when you were hoping you would draw one of your 2 Earths. So, I don't know. That was really interesting. I found that interesting. That was just, like, some personal, like, through playtesting, I found that really interesting. So, agents I'll throw in there. I will throw, I'll throw Black Wings in there just because they got a lot of shit. Like, straight up, if that deck doesn't top, there's something wrong. Because that deck has everything. So, I'm going to leave that in there. And I'm also going to throw in Prophecy. Because people are saying Prophecy is trash. And that is literally the dumbest statement right now. Like, people are saying Prophecy are terrible. They lost 1 card. Granted, it was the best card. It was hands down the best card they had. Spellbook of Judgment was the freaking nuts. It's gone. But I think a lot of people need to remember that deck was topping before they had Spellbook of Judgment. They adapted the deck to where they could still play the deck and they could still do well. Thunder King was the vein of that deck's existence. Thunder King is at 1. If you're running Thunder King and you happen to open with it, good job. Like, it's not something that I think a lot of people are understanding, is that Prophecy is still a really good deck, and I am not ruling that deck at all. I think people that are saying the deck is trash are ridiculous. World of Prophecy is a really broken card. I'm sure a lot of people, because I heard about it, a lot of people have been bothering my brother Vexy about it. The deck's really good, you guys. Take it from me. Like, I've never played Prophecy. I only played against it. And when I played against it, I was scared shitless just because that deck was like the nuts. And I mean, I played tested against it back before there was Judgment. I played tested against it when there was Judgment. And now it's kind of just taking a step back to last format to where the deck didn't have Spellbook of Judgment, but still, I mean, they got Secrets, they got Masters, they got Blue Boy, they got a lot of stuff, you guys. I would not rule that deck out at all. So I'm going to throw that deck in there. Other decks I'm going to throw in there, I don't even know why I'm doing a top 5. I'm just going to throw out whatever deck I feel is good. I feel Constellars are a really good choice. You guys already saw the profile, the last video I have here, my boy Rob and his Constellar deck profile. I really like Constellars. Deck's really good. Walking Compulses. Everyone knows that Compulse is just an amazing card, and even though it's at 1, if you have monsters that can do that, that can disrupt so much shit, it's a good deck. So I like that deck. Other decks I like I already said Infernities. Infernities are just, I'm so mad. I used to have Infernities and I got rid of them, and I'm like kicking myself now because I definitely would have played Infernities if I still had them. I think I might just have to cash out and get the deck again just because, I mean, it's so amazing. Like, I love that deck. Let's see. Like I already mentioned Black Wings. I think, you know, on the whole Dragon Plant thing, like I already said, I feel that I haven't played the deck yet, meaning I haven't played with it. I played against it using agents, and I mean, it was kind of 50-50-ish. It depended on what the setup was, and I'm playing a different variant of agents, so it depends, you know, if I get my main combo pieces out first before they can drop Christia. You know, if you drop Christia, they're pretty much in trouble, but I mean, there's ways around cards like that, so I feel that you can't rule any deck out. I don't know if it'll be the deck that wins Toronto, but I think it's still just a really, really good deck. Other decks that I like Frog Monarchs. I don't see anything wrong with that deck, like, at all. Like, you didn't really lose anything. You still have your Treeborn, you still have your Frog Engine, you still have all your Monarchs. You know, Vanity's Fiend is a boss, so I mean, that deck is definitely something I think people are forgetting. I feel that that's a really good deck. On to Fire Fist, I only saw one Fire Fist in action. One of my friends was playing it at school. I mean, I was just watching it, like, go to town, like, straight up. It was going to town. That deck was going ham, like, freaking Tensu, and, you know, not even tanky, but, like, Tensu is, like, amazing. So, you know, Chicken, Tensu, you know, all those cards, they have a lot of shit going on. Like, Wolfberg, they have a lot of cool stuff going on, so I'm not going to roll that deck out either. I got to look more into that deck. That's one thing, is a lot of these decks, I got to look into them, because a lot of decks people thought were going to be, you know, complete trash, or still playable, or still really good. We were wrong. I was wrong. I thought that we had the OCG list, and, you know, sure enough, we get, you know, the surprise of our lives with that list. I just feel a lot of decks have potential. I think, honestly, the deck I like, I think that is really, really under the radar is Inzectors. I think that deck is completely under the radar in terms of, this is a good deck. Like, it was really good back when, you know, you had 3 of everything, but it also had a very hard Rabbit matchup. It had a hard matchup against that deck because the deck would main Fiendish Chains, it would main Veiler, it would main Macro, it would do everything it could to kill that deck, because let's face it, popping everything multiple times per turn is pretty good. Now that Rabbit's down, now that back row, you know, now that macro, it rhymes, but anyways, now that macro is at 1, like, literally, that deck is kind of, outside of Veiler, outside of Fiendish Chain, that deck can really, you know, go par to par with pretty much every deck in the format, and I witnessed that. I lost to it. Like, I lost to it, because that deck, literally, like, I was like, oh, damn it, like, I gotta do something. Wabaku, I gotta do something. Threatening Roar. It's like playing Countdown and then Explode, and it's like, well, you know, it happens. But, oh, and on terms of that, don't play Countdown. There's 2 Sarks. Don't play Chain Burn. Just, you know, don't play any of those decks. People are siding Decree, if not maining Decree. Don't play those decks. Those decks aren't good. Like, I don't think those decks are good at all. And I mean, I've played every single one of them before. Either was it for fun, for locals, for testing, whatever. They can't cut it anymore. So I'm not even going to talk about those decks. I mean, you can play them if you want, but I don't think a lot of people are going to, you know, think very highly of you. So I wouldn't play them. Because I mean, I know I made a Countdown video, but that was a long time ago, and now would not play it. Not worth a damn. With only 1 Sark, no thanks. You can put more stall in there if you want, but, you know, main deck Decree will kill it. Main deck Decree will kill it. And decks will OTK you before you get the chance. Infernities will kill you with Barrier before you get the chance to really win, or even try to stall and win. So I wouldn't play those decks. Now, Dark World. Dun dun dun. Everyone wanted to hear my opinions on Dark World. You guys saw my games with Dark World. I've been playing the deck in real life as well. Now, here's the thing. I love the deck to death. I think the deck is great. Still can have consistency issues. You would think, how can a turbo deck have inconsistency issues? Sometimes you're drawing one of 3 hands. You're drawing the nuts, you're drawing I could work with this, or you're drawing shit. And when you draw shit, it sucks. When you draw all discard outlets and no Dark Worlds, it sucks. When you draw all Dark Worlds, no discard outlet, it sucks. So personally, I'm working on something to kind of, not to take it from you, Robbie, but trying to perfect the Dark World, trying to do something like that. Me and Mofo have been talking about it, Absence of Light. We're all going to be working on some videos, you guys. So I know a lot of you hate Dark World, but you seem to like it when we do it. So, you know, we appreciate that. And hopefully we'll be the only, like, 3 people that can get away playing Dark World without people hating us. But, you know, we're not giving up on that deck. I'm like, definitely not giving up on that deck. I feel that deck has potential. Just some kinks need to be worked out for that deck to be really competitive. So that's definitely in my that's in the special box area deck. So we'll see how that works out. But I think, like, the most important thing about this format is that, you know, almost anything has potential. Like, I think that is just such a, you know, such a great feeling. Like, all right, you're always gonna have your dominant decks, but you're gonna have your sleeper decks that can sometimes overpower those decks because your opponent is not ready to play those decks. So I think that is the greatest thing about this format right now, is that if you want to play the deck, then damn it, play it. If you want to play Madolches, play Madolches. You want to play Inzectors, play Inzectors. You want to play Agents, play Agents. You want to play Frog Monarchs, play Frog Monarchs. You want to play Chaos Dragons? That deck ain't dead. Like, alright, granted, Evilsworn is still a deck. Evilsworn pretty much almost auto-win against a deck, but if you don't play against Evilsworn, then shit, go ham with Dragons. You know, drop Light Pulsar, drop Dark Flare, Dark Red MD, BLS, Chaos Sorcerer, you name it, drop it, win the game. Like, I like that deck too. That's another deck that I wish I held on to. That's a really good deck, and I like that deck, and I want to see what people do with it. I think all these decks have potential. I think decks that people used to say were trash are really good. I think GBs are still good. I wish we got 2 Bestiaries. If we gotten 2 Bestiaries, I would have played the deck. I have the deck in my binder, and I don't get to play it. I mean, I might still try and play it. Something with Tenki, something with Bear. I'll think of something like for a fun deck profile or something, but I don't want to rule any deck out. That's always the biggest mistake people do at the beginning of a new format, is that they rule decks out before the format has even started, before events have even gone, before results have even been posted. And that's the thing, is that if you do that, if you're so quick to say this deck is terrible, this deck has no potential, I'm not going to play this deck, you play that deck, you're not going to be prepared, you're going to be in trouble. I think that's something that I'm learning, like, especially this last week. I played against a bunch of random stuff, I played against meta stuff, I played against lower tier stuff that was low tier, last format is now higher on the tier. And now I'm starting to see, based on, you know, like, I still haven't decided on a deck for San Mateo. I'm still deciding, and that's something that's going to take a while. But, you know, I don't have that much time, so I have to decide, you know, what deck I'm going to play for San Mateo. But I definitely have a couple, like, 3 contenders that I would play if I get the chance. So we'll see how things go. But anyways, the point of today's video, it kind of sounds like a whole ramble and whatnot about the format in general, is that I think the whole point of today's video should be, don't be so quick to judge the format. Don't be so quick to say that this is the deck that's going to win every single YCS. This is the deck that's going to just dominate the format. This is the deck that can't be beaten, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. Every deck in the game has a weakness. Every deck in the game does not always draw perfect. Every deck in the game can win at times, lose at times, and get better. It can evolve over time. Pretty much like every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can evolve with time, or can get banhammered, can get destroyed to where you can't even play it. People are saying you can't play Heroes without Stratos. That's a very true statement. Angel Flores messaged me and he says, please tell them they can't play Heroes because Stratos is gone. People are still going to try, though, and that's something that I really, you know, I really like about players, is that they're not going to give up on a deck if it's the deck they enjoy so much. They're going to find ways to bring the deck back. They're going to find ways to almost quote-unquote perfect the deck to their liking. Because if it's a deck you like, then hell, play it. You know, play Heartbeast, play whatever the hell you want. Like, that's what this format is all about. You want to play a deck, then damn it, play it, because it's worth it. Anyways, you guys, this video was kind of random. It was kind of a slim chat, kind of a little bit of slim psychology, kind of a little bit of everything, kind of just I'm back. I'm doing my videos. Don't worry. It was only like a 3 or 4 day man, I can't even pronounce words. Hiatus. And I'm definitely going to be looking into making more videos for you guys. I'm going to be bringing back the good, the bad, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! I have some new decks to talk about. Trap Tricks, Bujin, other decks that are going to be brought to my attention. YCS Toronto is tomorrow and Sunday. I will be doing some videos on it based on, you know, who wins and all that. My brother always is on top of all of that, and I want to see, you know, what ends up winning. If it's anything unique, if there's anything that tops that's unique, you know, I'll profile it here on the channel via DN, and I'll definitely bring you guys, you know, my insight on the deck. I just hope that everyone enjoys this format and really tries to make the best out of it. Don't think that this game is over because of this list, because I honestly think this is a great list for so many reasons. For the fact that we're not going to be so reliant on Saki cards. We're not going to be reliant on, you know, Heavy Storm being the card that ends you, Monster Born being the card that ends you. You're really going to have to think about how you play cards. And if you think setting 5 is the smartest thing, you're wrong. It's not always going to be the best thing. Because if you play against a main deck Decree and you don't have a Typhoon, or you've used 5 spaces for traps, you're in trouble. So definitely think before you set 5. That's one thing. I saw videos on that. They're spot on about that. Like, I found that out the hard way, and I found out when playing against something like that sometimes when you main deck Decree, or you main deck something your opponent's not looking for, like Malevolent Catastrophe, it can literally be a catastrophe. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, comment below with your thoughts of this new format. What deck are you going to play and why? That is, I guess, like my big question for down in the comments, because everyone always likes to have little conversations down there. What deck are you going to play and why? What deck do you think will win Toronto? And what deck do you think will be supreme throughout this format? Let me know what you guys think. You know, please thumbs up the video and talk about the deck that you want to see do well this format, because like I said, I think anything can do well this format. So hopefully we will see that, and we will see a lot more diversity at the top tables. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, thumbs it up, and thank you for watching.